Now this should be a lot of fun. The Roland computer music lineup from the late 80s. Let's give it a go. The sound module in this setup is the Roland CM-32L, a repackaged MT32 that came a couple of years before. The 32L also has 33 sound effects. The MT32 doesn't have those. As the MT32 before it, the 32L has a maximum polyphony of 32 voices over 32 partials, meaning your polyphony will decrease if you use patches that uses more than one partial, of course. For maximum authenticity, I'm using the Roland PC200 master keyboard here, which was part of Roland's computer music lineup at the time. And to get things started, I'm going to use the Roland CA30 Intelligent Arranger here. This is basically the E20 keyboard, if you remember that, and all its intelligent arrangement facilities put into a nice little box with pads here. And this will basically take my small melody and chord progressions played from the PC200 and convert it into a more complex and interesting arrangement, complete with bass patterns and drum rhythms. You also had the option of buying music style cards for the CA30, so you could really fill up your whole evening at your local pub, playing variations of Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You. With the CA30, I could also change sounds in the 32L sound module. So let's give this a go. So I'm playing the chord progression in real time and the melody line as well, and the CA30 makes up the arrangement on the fly. Some nice variations at the end there, all done by the CA30. And as I said before the music started, from the CA30 itself, I can change the sounds in the 32L sound module just below it here to change up the sounds coming out of the module for the different parts of the arrangements that the CA30 plays. So if I want to change out the fretless bass for a slap bass, I can do that from the CA30 itself. myself, I love playing this thing. Here is the CF10. You've seen me use it a little bit in the video already. This is a MIDI mixer in the same Roland computer music lineup. So this is not an audio mixer, it's a MIDI mixer which controls the volume and pans for those MIDI channels set up in the 32L. The accuracy of those membrane button faders leaves a lot to be desired, admittedly. So let's give this one more go. Hours of endless fun. Okay, let's bring one more thing into the setup here, the CN20 Music Entry Pad. And this is for those that really couldn't play very well on a keyboard or wanted to insert chords and chord changes into music software at the time. I'm going to use it here to play it live, which it can also do very well. And it's actually creative fun in its own way, entering chords on this entry pad instead of playing it on the keyboard. And again, this is all happening in MIDI. These modules are only triggering over MIDI, the 32L sound module below the CA30. Okay, there's even one more thing, the CP40, the pitch to MIDI converter. And this can convert your voice or guitar for that matter into MIDI information, MIDI notes, which you could then record into software if you wanted to, or to play live with various success, as I will show you shortly in all its glory. So let's set this up. I will run over to the microphone and set this to transmit on MIDI channel 1. And as I now sing or make sounds into the microphone, this will convert it to MIDI and play the 32L, which I've set up with a high-pitched solo sound. Maybe a guitar would have been better, but it was fun nonetheless. So here we have it, Roland computer music desktop lineup from the late 80s. And this really gives a new meaning to the term one-man band. And so for another little breakdown, the CM32L module was a MT32, which was basically a stripped-down, simplified D50. While the CM32P is a PCM module, which was really a stripped-down U110 module. And if you wanted both of these in one box instead, you could get the CM64, which holds everything you see below it in that one box. And of course, the one that started it all, and I have a follow-up video to this one coming shortly, the cult classic MT32, and its impact on the gaming industry of that time is not something to sneeze at. And after all of these came the Roland Sound Canvas modules, and this upped the fidelity in audio quality and crispness, etc. And of course we have one of those as well, and maybe we'll do something about that in a future video too. Let's wait and see. I have to say a big thanks to Anders Jensen for being so kind to drive this all the way to my doorstep, unloading a bunch of old Roland computer music stuff. Big thanks, Anders. I owe you one. If you had this stuff back in the day and used it for whatever, please let us know in the comment section. I'd love to read your stories about the computer music lineup from Roland from the late 80s. As always, if you had any doubt, I am Espen Croft and I am the 80s still. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.